What's up, YouTube? First video. Never done a YouTube video doing any reviews or anything about any companies or any work I do. Kind of a quiet person. Handle my business, stay to myself. I wanted to talk about CDL training. I haven't seen any recent reviews that really key in on what I could relate to. I mean, it's a lot of good information out there. It's a lot of CDL holders that can tell you a lot about the business, but none that I can really relate to except for one out of Florida. Anyway, here past month I have been training at Roadmaster driving school. They're owned by Warner, and it's a truck driving school, commercial driver's license school. They prepare you to take your state exam in whatever state you live in. I currently attend their Grandview location, Kansas City, Missouri location, and so far it's been very well. I received my permit. I was evaluated on pre-trip inspections, road, and maneuvers. Passed all those. I just recently today went out to take my state exam. I passed the pre-trip part of it, and I passed the maneuver part of it, but I had timed out. Timed out means that I didn't fail. I definitely didn't fail, but the examiner ran out of time himself to go on to the next phase, which is understandable. That usually happens when you have a situation like mine's, where you inspect the whole truck. It's random selection when you do your pre-trip. You might get the engine bay, you might get in cab, you might just get a piece of the truck or whatever, and they'll move on to the next phase, which is skills, maneuvers. Unfortunately, I got the tractor and trailer, so I had to do the whole truck. It wasn't done on purpose to me. It wasn't biased. It's just random selection. When it popped up on the screen, he even was like, "I'm sorry, but you're going to have to do the whole thing." Fine. I did it. Flew through it with flying colors. Did my air brake test. Flew through that with flying colors. I didn't get any points. Then I did 2 maneuvers, straight line backing, and offsetting. No points. Got to parallel. I got some points. You're only allowed to get 12 points. Let's just say, I'm not going to tell you how many points I got, but the parallel kind of threw me off because the state exam parallel box is a little longer than the one in the training facility that I attended at Roadmaster in Grandview. And, you know, I know it's the same thing no matter what. You know, get it in the cones, put it in the hole. I get it. But to me, with it being longer, I, timed my turn into the box after I got my trailer in there. I timed my turn for my tractor in there too late, or too soon. I'm sorry, it was too soon. I was in too tight. So I got some points, but I passed because what I did was I used my get out and look. Mind you, at this point I had 0 points. I used my get out and look, and I pulled it in smooth as ever. That's the most smooth parallel park I've ever done throughout my training. I only parallel parked in my training 3 times. So that's pretty good for somebody that only got to parallel park 3 times during training out of a span of 3 weeks. Which is not the school's fault either. The instructor that I had, he is very helpful. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has plenty of miles under his belt, as far as trucking, to guide you in the right direction. Shout out to him. His name is Lyle. He works at Roadmaster in Grandview. He prepared me to do those maneuvers. I did them pretty well. For somebody that's never backed a truck of that size, I've backed trailers before, but not of that size. I think he trained me pretty well to get me where I needed to be. like I said, so far it's been good, and they also do pre-employment, searches for you as soon as you get into the school. So, at least by the first or second week, what employer wants you, and you get to choose. For me, since Warner owns the school, they're the first ones. I guess they get first dibs. I'm not going to tell you they get first dibs, but my guess is they do, because that's the first company that they went with, and Warner is an excellent company, and they pre-hired me there, and I got orientation with them set up this coming Monday in Omaha, Nebraska. So I'll be leaving, going out of town this Sunday to go to orientation after I go back to my driving portion, which is scheduled for tomorrow. So I wish I could have finished the driving portion today. Like I said, I didn't fail. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't the examiner's fault. It's just he didn't have enough time, so they had to move on. The open slots came for me today. I also kind of believe one of the supervisors of the instructors, he made that decision too, to kind of give me a relaxed day, which I did need, because I've been running low on sleep. I've been working a full-time job and going to school. Mind you, school is with Roadmaster is from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Now, once you get to a certain point in the program where you're fully evaluated and you're just waiting on a test date and you have 160 hours of training in, then you don't have to come Saturdays. You still have to come Monday through Friday until you get your CDL, or you pass a portion of the test, which in my case, I passed the first two portions, the most complicated portions of the test. The easy portion, the driving part, has been scheduled for tomorrow. So once I pass that, I'll receive my certificate of completion. I have a CDL in my pocket. I have a job waiting on me at Warner. I will say that it costs money. It's a pretty penny. It's a starting neighborhood of $7,000 with interest. However you finance it, it can go up from there. But the cool thing is, like I said, with that pre-hire program that they have, and I chose Warner, Warner chooses to pay more than what the monthly payment is for the education after you graduate and find your job. Now, if you choose not to pick a job and you wait a while, then you're going to have to make the payment on your own, because they will send you information saying, hey, we want our money. You need to pay $170 a month or whatever it is, or contact you by phone. They'll reach out to you if you don't pick a job. Fortunately for me, Warner wants that paperwork as soon as I get to Omaha on Monday. I'm going to get to Omaha on Sunday, but when I get to the terminal on Monday, they're going to want the financial paperwork so they can start paying on it. They actually pay more than what is required. In my case, they want $170 a month from the finance company that did my loan for my schooling. Warner's going to pay $250. So they're paying more than what's needed. That way it gets paid off a little faster. Not only that, it builds your credit because the loan is under your name. So that's very helpful. They'll allow you to use a cosigner if need be. So I already talked about the price. I've been saying it's going well. Their first week, they introduce you to commercial driving. They basically give you a vast overview of the lifestyle, health tips to take care of yourself. They vaguely go over what questions might be asked during your permit testing and what you need to know to advance on to working on the pad. The pad is where the school conducts its core training. You're actual physically moving the truck, inspecting the truck. That's where they do their core training. Back to what I was saying. The first week, introduction to the trucks, the industry, the type of jobs, how you take care of yourself, what to expect. And they also, within that first week, get you set up to take your permit. So they provide you a book, and I'm not going to show it on camera just in case there's a copyright thing or whatever, but they give you a handbook to complete during your training in the classroom. And that is very, very helpful because it gives you exactly what you need in your state as far as laws and everything, to pass a permit test or CDO permit test. They also, before you even begin class, you have to have your DOT physical, hair follicle test, urine test, vision test, basically your DOT. You have to do your DOT before you start class. Let's see if I can get some more light here. Camera's kind of... Okay, that works. After you get your permit that first week, they will send you out to the pad. They'll introduce you to PTI. And of course, before you leave class, you have to pass a couple exams. They're not mandatory that you pass it, but, if you don't pass it, you're not going to go to the next phase. They're going to continue to work with you until you pass it. You should pass it because they give you all the tools you need. They give you all the information you need. You don't pass it, then I'm going to tell you that's on you. I'm not going to make no excuses for nobody else because I didn't make no excuses for myself. I passed, of course. Once you get to PTI, they go over the whole truck, how the inspection is done, the verbiage that you need to use, what you need to point out, why are you pointing at it, everything. After that, they evaluate you on your PTI. They usually give people a couple days to get acclimated with it. In my case, since I've already been reading in class and I've been studying up on my own, I was able to evaluate. It was the same day that I was brought out to the pad, and the instructor that did the evaluation, he's out of Milton. He's out of the Milton location. Shout out to Jeff. He gave me a lot of good information. It was a little confusing. They got the mix-ups corrected after a while, after me and a couple other students were like, hey, this is not, he's telling me this, and you Missouri and the Missouri instructors, the guys that are from Missouri, that drive in Missouri and have a Missouri CDL, are saying something different than the Milton guy. They got it worked out to where Jeff corrected it, and he got it to where it is legit for Missouri, because each state varies on what they require as far as pre-trip and examinations. I evaluated out of that within one day. Then I was moved over to maneuvers. This is the second week. I'm doing maneuvers. I'm practicing them. I'm introduced to them first. Some instructors do a demo. My instructor, he chose not to, which works for me, because if I'm actually moving it, I'm one of those type of guys where if I'm actually touching it and moving it, I will learn. It's not going to take a very long time. I'm a quick learner. I'm a quick study. I started nailing a couple moves, so then he went ahead and took it upon himself to say, hey, he's ready. He asked me, was I ready? I ain't going to say he fully took it upon himself, but he felt I was ready. I felt comfortable with it. So I evaluated the second week and passed. Within that second week as well, I had my road evaluation. So it's not going to happen for you the same way it happened for me, but for me personally, the pace was just fine because I work well under pressure. It was moving because I feel that the instructors saw that I got it. So that's why they went ahead and evaluated me quickly. Same thing with the road instructor, Sean. He saw that in me. He asked me same thing. Hey, you comfortable? If so, I'm going to tell him you're ready to evaluate. And that's exactly what he did. Went in after my first day. He went in and said, hey, I need to set up evaluation. He got the evaluation set up that week. I evaluated. So within 2 weeks, I was evaluated PTI, road, and skills, which is maneuvers. After I got all that together, they started splitting my days up. I would do road in the morning and the pad in the afternoon, or the pad in the morning and road in the afternoon. They didn't bring me back to PTI until this week, yesterday, which was just fine because I got PTI. I got that hands down. Just to, keep me fresh on it. But they gave me the option of walking away and going over to the skills part of it, which is with Lyle. Just in case I'm comfortable with it, I could just go over to Lyle and go into maneuvers. After that, I was approached. That was Monday that I was put put back in PTI. Tuesday, I did the same thing, a little bit of PTI. I spoke with a couple students that are under me. They're new classes, helped them out on a few things they were struggling with or whatever. When we were going back for lunch break, the supervisor approached me and was like, hey, I got an open slot. I know you're scheduled for Monday, because originally my exam was scheduled for the 4th of November. He approached me and was like, hey, I got a slot open tomorrow. Are you ready? I was a little nervous, but I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to trust myself. And I said, yeah, I'll take it. And I said, yeah, with confidence. So after that, woke up I went to work that night, which was yesterday night, and I only worked half a shift. And I told my supervisors that I had to leave early to go get my CDL exam done. And the rest is history. I passed that, and now I got the driving portion. So if you're interested in going to Roadmaster driving school, I highly recommend it. Now, there's other avenues you can go to get your CDL. I know that. There's other schools. There's other ways of doing it. You can also get with someone that owns a truck and has a CDL license. You can study for your permit, get it that way, practice with them, take the test. It is going to cost you. My test didn't cost me today because, that's part of the program with Roadmaster. It's $75 a pop after that. If I had failed today, I would have to pay an additional $75. But since I timed out, I don't have to pay anything because it was not my fault. I highly recommend it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. That's what I tell all my classmates. Anytime they're struggling with something, I tell them, you can do it. You're going to get it done. Get it done. Because that's my attitude. Put your mind to it, it will be done. If you tell yourself that you won't get it done and you might fail, you leave a chance in there that you will fail. I had a couple classmates go after me, but I didn't get the chance to find out if they passed or not, because my instructor told me I didn't have to be there for the rest of the day and not to come until tomorrow afternoon when my driving portion is ready. I can either meet him at the trooper's office or I can go to the school. I'm gonna choose to go to the school, and I'm gonna get there an hour early just to be around the trucks, just to feel what I'm trying to do. That's just me. But like I said, I don't talk a lot. It's my first time doing a video. I'm hoping to do more videos. I'm gonna rename the channel. Right now it's just named after me, but I'm gonna rename it, and I'm gonna make this channel about trucking. The experience of somebody that's never done trucking before. To give you a little background on me, I've worked a lot of different jobs. I've operated plenty of heavy equipment. Plenty. I've operated forklifts and skid loaders and, Bobcats, John Deere tractors with, huge trailers and, all kinds of stuff. I've operated a lot of different things. Stand up, sit down, pneumatic, electric, forklifts, reach trucks, you name it. I've even operated a diesel water truck for a job before, and I didn't even have a license, which didn't matter because we were on private property. DOT can't come in there and tell me I can't operate that vehicle on their property. Now, they can suggest that I don't do that and take it out on the road, but that's what I did there. I also have an FRA license. I'm also with the railroad. I'm currently furloughed, not fired. I'm furloughed. Still have the job there, but they're going to call me back. And when they furloughed me this time around, usually I'll go get an hourly job and just tough it out. But this time I said, I'm going to get my CDL. I need a second career because the railroad is not always going to be there for me. Things happen. Like, just now they made some cuts. Since I have low seniority, I have a 2018 hire date. I'm low man on the totem pole. Granted, I do have like 40 guys under me seniority wise, but I'm not going to tell you which railroad I work for. And nothing negative about them. They pretty much lay it out on the table when you're hired by them that this can happen. So I can't cry about it and complain about it. All I can do is maneuver around it and do what I have to do for me and my family, which is get my CDL. And with the CDL, lifetime employment, as long as I don't mess it up, as long as I don't get drunk, and drive or get into any criminal activity, which I'm a square anyway. I don't do nothing but work and go home to my wife and kids. But that's a little bit of background on me. I'm a furloughed railroader, and I went to get my CDL, and tomorrow should be it. I should have my CDL. So if you're thinking about doing it, I highly suggest it. Don't knock yourself. You know, I come from being furloughed at the railroad to conquering this. You know, and I never doubted myself. I might have got a little nervous, but I never doubted myself. And that's what I suggest you do too if you do this. If you do this, don't doubt yourself. Do not. Don't second guess yourself. Don't believe you're not going to do it. Because if you believe you're not going to do it, then you're not going to do it. I'm just be honest about that. I'm 31 years old. I don't have all the answers to life. But the main thing I've seen over the years is people doubt themselves. I've even seen myself do it. And when they do that, you lose. You're going to lose. Okay? You might get lucky because every dog has their day. Like they say, you know, there's always a day that the sun shines on a dog's ass. You know, that might be that day, but it's going to come back to get you if you doubt yourself. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. I have to go into work. I got to work this little job until Saturday. Conveniently, I'm already off Sunday, which I'm going to tell them Saturday I'm not coming anymore. You know how the game go. But again, new to the channel, please come back and watch the video again. I will title this video in regards to trucking. I will have an update video coming tomorrow after I pass the driving portion of my state exam, and I will continue to do updates as I go through the orientation process, the hiring process with Warner. Thank you for watching. Peace out.